Well, I was going to take a Spyder out for a ride today and shoot today's video. Then I saw what the temperature is. It's in the 30s, so scratch that. We'll stay in a nice, warm, toasty studio, which is in fact the spare bedroom. So, today's video, I'm going to talk about some road trips, some road trip ideas. I was recently having a conversation with my brother, who hasn't had a chance to travel as much as we have, just because he's still working, so he doesn't have the leisure time. And he does like to go out to Vegas. He's not much of a gambler, but he does enjoy the shows and the spectacle of it all and the food. But I told him that, it's not difficult to build a very scenic trip from a Las Vegas foundation, so to speak. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What type of road trip can you build from that? If you look at the map, you'll notice that Las Vegas, being situated along the western part of the United States, is in very close proximity to a few of my favorite places in the United States, specifically Sedona, Arizona, Grand Canyon, and Monument Valley. So I decided to work on a trip outline for him that incorporated those things. Now, here in the coastal area of Virginia, I checked airline fares, and right now it looks like that one can get a round-trip airline ticket from here to Vegas for a person for about $300, which is pretty nice. It's my understanding, and I'm not positive about this, that the city of Vegas is actually underwriting airline tickets to Vegas to make them a little cheaper. So that's a great starting point, and that's why I picked Vegas for this video. Once you're there, you can of course take in the shows and the nightlife and everything that Vegas has to offer. But we're talking about a road trip. So what I would do is rent a car from the airport, and once I left Vegas, I would then start heading out. And the first stop I would make, which is just a few hours away, is the Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is quite spectacular. It's been there a long time, so there's a lot of history there, and they do the dam tour. If you haven't taken advantage of that yet, you might want to consider doing that. And that is along the route that goes down towards the Grand Canyon, which is only about 280 miles, which can be driven for about 4.5 hours from Las Vegas itself. And you can make reservations and stay on the South Rim, lots of hotels and accommodations there, right next to the rim and into the little community that supports the Grand Canyon National Park, and then take in the Grand Canyon itself. I've not been there in about 10 years. I've been to the canyon twice, and each time it was spectacular. 10 years ago, Miriam and I decided we were going to do a day hike into the canyon. It was April, and as you would expect, we tend to have meteorological issues that affect the outcomes of our excursions. This particular day, the weather forecast was forecasted to be in the 80s and sunny. I had done some research on the Grand Canyon website, and they strongly recommended you take some appropriate equipment with you, just in case the weather changes, which it tends to do drastically and rapidly. We enjoyed the hike down. It's a pretty strenuous hike. I'm not sure if I can actually do it today or not, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. And had lunch. We brought it with us, and we're on our way back, and the weather changed. We found ourselves putting sunscreen on earlier in the day. After we finished lunch, the weather changed drastically, and a snowstorm came in. Yes, us and snowstorms. Who would have thought? It dumped about 3 to 4 inches of snow onto the canyon and the rim area of the resort portion of the canyon, and it was interesting to say the least. So it gave us quite a bit of a story to tell about hiking out during the snowstorm. Now, the video in these clips was shot in non-high-res format. High definition wasn't readily available in 2010, so this is all we had to work with, so I apologize for that. But the memories are still there, and it was an awesome trip. From there, I would recommend a ride to the Red Rock Canyons of Sedona, Arizona. About 114 miles south It's a nice drive through the canyon area, and the rock formations are spectacular. Hey Miriam, what is it you like the most about Sedona?
What is it I like the most?
Is it the view?
I like everything about Sedona.
A bit about the history of Sedona. Mr. Schnebley was the first postmaster of that area back when the little town had a population of under 100, and he wanted to get a post office set up, and they would not use his name, so they elected to use the name of his wife, which was Sedona. And so the town has grown into the resort and tourist attraction that it is today. It is gorgeous, definitely well worth your time to spend some time down there. Our personal favorite is a place I've stayed at several times, is the Sky Ranch Lodge. It's up on a mesa, which is adjacent to the General Aviation Airport there, and they share the restaurant as the hotel restaurant and the airport restaurant. This is not a simple hamburger joint. This is really a high-end restaurant serving really good food. Plus, the scenery from the lodge is spectacular. You can get rooms with patios that actually set on the edge, and you can look down into the valley, into the town of Sedona, and onto the Red Rocks. It's gorgeous. The next destination I would recommend is Monument Valley. Monument Valley sits on the line between Arizona and Utah. Now, Monument Valley is peculiar in that it sits on tribal land owned by the Navajo Nation. It's actually considered a Navajo Nation National Park. It is technically a sovereign entity unto itself, and the Navajo Nation laws prevail. It is a place that strongly recommend you visit for several reasons, besides the physical beauty, to meet the Navajo people who live and work there. It's very informative, and a lot of history in that area. Not just from the motion pictures that were shot there, but for a little known story from World War II, the Navajo Code Talkers, and that's their story, and I'm not going to get into that today, but very useful during the World War II Pacific Theater. And when you're in that region, I recommend you turn your radio onto the Navajo Tribal radio station, and I'll put that frequency up here, and the announcers talk in Navajo. The commercials are sometimes are in English, and the music is typically a country western channel, if I recall the format, playing contemporary country music. But it's interesting to listen to the announcers speak in Navajo. Now, in Monument Valley, there are a few hotels and lodges, and there's some Airbnbs. Also in the surrounding communities, they also offer lodging. One of the ones that I would like to stay at and just have not had a chance to is a hotel along the roadside in a little area called Mexican Hat, just south of Monument Valley. And then from there you can take the one-day drive back to Las Vegas, going north of the Grand Canyon, so you would actually circumnavigate the Grand Canyon. Now, I'm not recommending you take this trip all in one day. This is a type of a trip you divide into multiple days, and you want to add some time at the individual locations to experience the cultures, the people, and just enjoy the view. So this is the recommendation I've given to my brother for a trip out west. Whether or not he does it, I don't know, but I thought since I took the time to plan it out, I would share with you guys. Tell me what you think. Also list some of your favorite driving routes or road trips that you've taken, and in the comments below. And we'd appreciate that. So this is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. So you all have a good day, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our travel-related content, just check out the rest of our channel. And don't forget to subscribe.